You're watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the April 11th meeting of the Michiana Shores Town Council. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
7 sharp, so let's all call to order for the meeting and start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Let's do a roll call. President Dinah Dumbriz, absent. Myself, Michael Martinez, Vice President, present. Ralph Box.
Present.
Sam Paxton.
Present.
Rich Young. Absent. Joan. Clerk Treasurer Joan Lewis.
Here.
Attorney Brad Adamski.
Here.
Fire Chief Gary Bendix.
Present.
Police Chief Mark Swistek.
Present by Zoom.
Road Commissioner Mr. Bob Zukowski.
Here.
I didn't forget you this time. Park Board President Dolly Millick. Absent. BZA President Matt Bowen. Absent. Building Commissioner / Code Enforcement Officer Deb Chubb. I thought she was joining virtually or no?
She's not here.
She's going to join by Zoom.
Okay, so for now she's absent. Floodplain Administrator Ray Dumbriz.
Yes, he's absent.
Yep. Planning Commissioner President Ralph Box.
Present.
And website Samantha Arnold.
Present.
Okay.
So Deb is joining us.
She is here. Okay. So if you want to make that correction, Joan, Deb Chubb is present via the virtual Zoom.
Okay. This is going to be fun.
You good, John?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so did everyone have a chance to look at the meeting agenda? Any changes? I do have one, but I wanted to see if anyone else had one.
I have none.
Sam?
No.
Okay. It was brought to my attention that I'm going to be moving up Police Chief Mark Swistek's department reports, only because I believe he's got triple booked. So we're going to be moving that right after we sign off on the meeting agenda.
Okay.
So Chief Mark Swistek will be presenting his monthly update as soon as we sign off. So if we don't have any other updates, please get a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the change of the police chief's report.
Can I get a second?
A second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3 ayes.
Sam, you said aye?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So with that, Police Chief Swistek, if you want to go ahead and take over, please.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize for my lack of attendance tonight. I would first like to start by thanking the Fire Chief Gary Bendix and Battalion Chief Captain Bob Zukowski for their participation in our holy golf fire that we had this morning at midnight, 1300 block of Lakeshore Drive. So the mutual aid was very beneficial, and both of those gentlemen, along with the rest of the membership, assisted the town of Long Beach, and we truly appreciate the continued working relationship that we have with the fire department. With that, March, the overall summary, Long Beach Police Department responded to 271 calls for service when compared to 153 calls for service in the previous year for an increase of 118 overall calls for service. During the month of March, 24 incident reports documented. A total of 17 individuals were arrested, 2 felony arrests, 1 for felony habitual traffic violator. The other was an arrest warrant for felony theft. 5 individuals were arrested for operating a motor vehicle intoxicated. 9 misdemeanor arrests for traffic-related offenses, and also 2 19-year-old adults were arrested for underage drinking violations. During the month, we stayed quite active. Specific to the town of Michiana Shores, back on March 3rd, Deputy Jason Gagowski documented an incident report whereas a credit card fraud was reported by a resident. The credit card company was fully aware of the multiple fraudulent charges, and the incident was documented. As recent as this week, we have continued to work on El Portal, addressing the speeding concerns on El Portal. And just this week alone, I know we made 1 traffic-related arrest this week for a traffic stop that was conducted by Deputy Gagowski during the daytime hours on El Portal. So we'll continue to control the town, enforcing the traffic laws. And if there's any questions this evening, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
No questions. Just thank you, Chief Bendix, Bob, and yourself, Chief Swistek, for assisting in that fire. I read all about it on social media today, so thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Any other questions from the
No,
councilman?
For the report.
Alrighty. All right, we're good. Thank you, Chief Swistek. Moving forward to bullet point 4, the minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review the March 14th meeting minutes?
Yes, I have one comment. I don't have a copy of the meeting minutes in front of me, but Joan, under the section for the Plan Commission report, it states that I said we did not have a meeting. That's not correct. We did have a meeting, and that's the meeting we approved the...
What page are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't have a physical copy of the minutes in front of me.
They're on your, I sent them to you.
Yeah, under the reports section, there's a section where it has the Plan Commission report.
Advisory Plan Commission. You did have a meeting, you said?
Yeah, we had a meeting, and the only thing we did was we approved the comprehensive plan.
I appreciate it if you speak a little bit louder, because this is very difficult to get off the internet. Unless you can give me a copy of these meetings, they might be easier. The ones that, are you taking them?
Dinah may be able to give you a copy. Okay, good. That's all I got.
Sam?
You had a meeting with Wales, did you say you did?
Yes, we had a meeting in March.
Right,
I believe it was March 7th.
but you started to say something that you had. That's it?
That's it. We approved the new comprehensive plan at the Plan Commission level.
And you sent that to the council?
Yes, we'll talk a little bit about it tonight.
Do you have paperwork that does that or not?
I don't, if there's paperwork that I may fill out, I'm unaware of that. I do think I need to write a resolution, somebody told me that today.
All right, with that, Sam, any other additional updates to the meeting minutes from March 14th?
No.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, I need a motion to approve the minutes with the updates to actually having a planning commission meeting for the month of March.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All right, Ralph Box moves and Sam seconds.
Can anybody hear me?
Is that you, Rich?
Yeah.
Oh. We didn't know you were on. Apologies. Can you hear me okay?
No, I can barely hear. I hear Sam pretty good. I heard the chief pretty good, but I don't hear you very good around.
So, Rich, I apologize because you only show up as a phone number here. So I had no idea who it was.
Has he been on the whole
Yeah,
time?
that's all I have on the phone.
Yes, he has been on for the last 5 minutes.
With 2 members participating remotely, really even with any members, any vote should be by roll call vote at this point, so we get clear who votes.
Got
Okay, so what are you doing on this last vote now?
it. Just approving the minutes with the adjustment that Ralph had given regarding having an actual planning commission meeting.
Okay, Rich came on, so are we having 4 ayes? Did you get a vote from him?
I was gonna do that.
Let's run through the names.
Yeah. Can I get an approval from Sam Paxton?
Yes.
Rich Young?
I can barely hear you guys. I don't know what I'm approving.
The meeting minutes from March 14th.
Yeah.
Ralph Box? Go ahead, Rich.
You need to turn this on.
I came down with something last night, and you can probably hear my voice. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to sit around because I'm coughing all the time.
Got it. Well, I appreciate,
Here?
Dinah's running late, so I'm running the meeting for now.
All right, I guess you guys didn't even know I was on it. I didn't know why the chief was giving us the report, but he's not there, so.
Yeah, Rich removed his section of the meeting up because he was actually triple booked for this time, so we wanted to get him on and off and give the report. So we made the motion to move the agenda or update the agenda prior to him coming on.
I think I understood you. Okay.
All right. Ralph Box, yes or no for approving the meeting minutes?
Approved.
And Michael Martinez approved as well. All righty.
Hello?
Yeah, I missed out on all that.
So did I.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix the audio. We're just gonna have to wait a minute.
It was here for you to tell.
Yeah,
You're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stay on.
Now you're off again.
The good news is we're making good time.
okay.
Everyone can hear us now?
I can.
Okay. Rich?
It's not easy.
All right. Since we've approved the minutes from March 14th, we've done the roll call vote, we now move on to the reports from the committees, officers, and clerk treasurer. Now speaking is Joan Lewis for the invoices and claims that was sent via email this afternoon.
I think you've got them all, Rich. Let's go to the additional appropriation, additional vouchers. March 31st, the additional appropriations. Office Depot, $40.48 for office, just miscellaneous office supplies, and also, we purchased 8 cartridges for Deb Chubb, $20.48. That's cheap because we had some, credits built up for being a loyal customer, people know about that. AT&T Mobility, $96.02. AT&T telephone, well, we don't have a fax anymore, but we do have an internet with AT&T. We have it with both Comcast and AT&T. AT&T phone and internet's $154. Chase card services for Microsoft, $25. Software for Adobe, $21.39. LaPorte County Herald Dispatch, for printing not the budget. I didn't say anything. LaPorte County Herald Argus, Herald Dispatch, that was for our annual our annual report that we have to do. It's listed as budget here, but that's a misnomer. Brad Adamski for credit. Legal monthly retainer and email regarding STRs, $712.50. Freeman and Associates, $120, $1,290. NIPSCO for electric, for the garage, $96.51. NIPSCO again for street lights, $18.95. NIPSCO again for garage heat. I don't know why they have $111.55 for heat, but that's what they charge us. So we have a total of $2,703.46, and everyone should have a copy of that.
Which one is this you just covered?
I had no idea. If I look at them, the screen goes away. I can't see them.
Any questions, gentlemen, on the invoices covered by Joe?
I have no questions.
Sam or Rich?
I have no questions, this is Sam. What about?
Right, and that was for March 31st?
March 31st additional vouchers.
Got
So
it.
I'll make a motion to approve those vouchers.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All right,
Who is it?
Rich.
Okay, thanks.
All in favor, please state aye. Ralph?
Ask me roll call.
Aye. Rich Young?
Aye.
Sam Paxton?
Aye.
I already got you. And Michael Martinez, aye. So 4 ayes.
All right, so that. Okay, you two can sign, the other ones will have to come in this evening. And don't wait till next month, please.
Well, they're not here, so they won't know about that, unless you tell them.
Aren't they on?
Oh, Sam may be in town. He's not in town right now.
He's what? He's not gonna be in town? Is that what you said? Okay, so he's not gonna be in town.
I have no idea. They'll come in and sign them when they're available.
I will be in town soon.
All right, Joan, what else do you have for us, please?
Oh, I got a lot of things for him. The next one is going to be for the April 11th vouchers. Up until April. Long Beach Police, $5,174. Michiana Shore Volunteer Fire Department, $105 for rental. Office Depot, that was for office supplies, and card stock. I had to make some, what do you call them, cards for Deb. Excuse me. Republic Services, $4,659.72. Department of Water Works for water for Kincaid Park, $9.36. Baker Tilly for accounting and reestablishing the CCD fund for the work that was done in April, March and April, $121.50. Comcast Internet, $121.30. Brenda Heckman, travel to bank and post office, $56.25. Michiana Shore Volunteer Fire Department, $3,683.16. Department of Water Works, for water for the garage, $9.36. A total of $13,969.24.
Was that it?
I have no questions about that report.
That's it.
Okay. Sam, any questions?
No, sir.
All right, I need a motion to approve the April 11th vouchers as read.
So moved.
I'll second that.
We had Rich make the motion, and Ralph has seconded.
Thanks.
All in favor, say aye. I'm gonna start with Ralph Box.
Aye.
Sam Paxton.
Aye.
Rich Young.
Aye.
And Michael Martinez, aye, 4 ayes.
While you're signing that, I will go on to the March 31st pay files. We had 3 of them because I couldn't get all the pay files on time, get the time sheets in. So 2 of them I had to do individually. But I put them all on the same summary. And I'm just going to read you the total of all 3 pay files. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. The total for all 3 pay files, that includes every employee, every elected official, it came to $22,739.93.
I have no questions.
Ralph or Sam, any questions? All right, can I make a motion to approve the March 31st pay files as read by Joan?
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Ralph Box,
Aye.
Sam Paxton,
Aye.
and Rich Young,
Aye.
and Michael Martinez, aye, 4 ayes.
Okay, was that Sam that made the second in the motion? Or was that Rich Young?
Sam.
That was
Sam.
Sam?
Mhm.
Okay.
What else do you have for us, Joe?
I think that's it until we get to the ordinances.
Okay, so moving on, we now get to agenda item 6, which is titled Resolutions and Ordinances, 6A, Comprehensive Plan 5-Year Update.
Okay, so the Plan Commission had the public meeting and approved the comprehensive plan in March. We brought it up at this meeting last month, and there weren't, I think the Sam was on, Rich might not have been here. We decided to hold off, and then I'm gonna get a vote on it tonight, but I found out just this afternoon that I need to write a resolution for us to vote on. That's apparently how you really do it, right, Jim? So I'll draft something up and we'll vote on it next time.
And I can also show you what we need from the plan commission,
Okay.
that form that has to be filled out. I thought you were aware of it.
No, I'll stop by and you can
Okay.
clear it up for me. Thanks. So that's all I got.
Got it. Thank you, Ralph. Moving on to 6B, ordinance reestablishing the Cumulative Capital Redevelopment Fund.
Quite a mouthful.
I know.
That has been posted. I haven't had any comments from anybody in the community. So it is ready for you to go if you're it's establishing extra, I believe it's like
5 cents for each $100 assessed.
Right. It went up from 15 and a half to, wait a minute.
I think that was a code. I have it up here.
Do it good.
Do we need to read that?
It's short.
Can we ask where it was published? That's not going to speak right now.
I beg your pardon?
Where was it published?
It was published in LaPorte County Herald Dispatch. That's the only newspaper we have for the county. So I sent it to all the council members when it was published.
Brad, is this something that we can vote
It is
on
going to,
with two?
that's just it. That's what I'm wondering if we can do it tonight.
The limitations on remote or adopting a budget, making a reduction of personnel, initiating a referendum, imposing or increasing a fee, imposing or increasing penalty, exercising council's power of eminent domain, or establish, impose, or renew a tax.
Okay,
This could either fall under the fee or the tax. It's a cumulative, which is part of the property taxes. Unless Dinah shows up.
so let's just hold off on that again.
Okay. So possibly come back to it. Okay. Moving on to 6C, MS4 designation resolution. Is that?
That's Dinah's thing, we have to wait for her to be here.
All right, gentlemen, for those on Zoom, 6B, we do not have enough council members present to vote. And 6C was an update that was going to be provided by Dinah, who has yet to show up, but should be en route shortly.
Mike, how many council members are needed to vote?
3, minimum.
Right.
In person.
As long as I'm on camera in a Zoom meeting, that my vote counts.
On certain actions, you're right, Sam, but there are 7 specific actions that you cannot vote on via remote, even if you're present orally and in appearance.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully, if Dinah does show up, we'll revert back to 6B and C for voting and updates. So without further ado, moving forward to agenda item number 7, departmental reports. We'll start with Fire Chief Gary Bendix.
A little slow walking tonight. I'm a little tired tonight. For the month of March, we spent 218.04 hours on everything. We had 5 meetings during the month, and we only had 7 calls, so it was definitely a lot slower. We just had 1 medical call over on Birchwood, and that was a little bit in here now. So it's been slowing down a little bit.
Everyone was safe from yesterday?
Yeah, everybody was safe. I was a little sore, tired.
Yeah.
It was a long night.
What time did you finish?
We got her, I think, we night about. I went to bed at 4:15. Yeah, something like that. So we were dispatched out, I think it's 12:07 or something like that.
And thankfully, nobody was home.
No, I guess it was unoccupied. They were still trying to finish it up. It was like within 2 months of them moving in. But the bad part is the people next to them, they had a whole bunch of windows just cracked for heat, but it didn't get into the interior of that house, thank goodness. Because that could have been another, we still brought it there.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was it.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Chief. Appreciate it. Oh, Gary, Joe has a question.
Yeah.
Don't you have pancake breakfast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's May 7th, Sunday, May 7th.
Sunday, May 7th.
7th of the night, one of them.
Good question.
What's Sunday, May?
I can tell you right now,
I think it's May 7th.
it's May 7th, next Sunday.
Yeah.
You know if the prices are the same or whether.
I think so, I think it's $9
Okay, so
Yeah, it's the same as last year, yeah. And we'll be serving from 7 till noon.
okay.
So, come out for the social event.
We'll be there. All right, thank you, Chief. Next up is 7B, which is Building Commissioner Code Enforcement Deb Chubb.
Good evening, I emailed my report out, it's, pretty basic, issuing permits, still not much movement on any of the unresolved stop work orders and litigation that's happening. EDA is meet, in March, there is a meeting coming up on April 20th, and I believe there'll be a hearing about a request for, the height events. Otherwise, just, lots of phone calls, lots of realtors, and purchasing, and that sort of thing, so that's what I'm doing.
Got it. Thank you, Deb. Was that it? And if so, any questions from the councilmen and women?
No.
Okay, moving forward, 7C, Park Board, Dolly Millick, I believe she is absent, so we'll move forward.
Excuse me, there is a new park board president, and that is Jean Paxton.
Got it.
Okay?
Let's make sure we update that. Alrighty, 7D, Road Commissioners, Bob Sikowski.
Nothing to report other than the big truck is in the shop, the brakes are out. Still waiting on updates on that.
Thank you for the pothole remedies I saw today, so appreciate it.
$600 today.
Good.
That's just this side of town. I can start on that side.
Got it. Moving forward, thank you, Bob. Moving forward, the Advisory Plan Commission, Ralph Box.
Yeah, really the only thing to report there is that we have been working on proposed updates to our short-term rental ordinance. We've had several discussions, and we're really at the point, I'm close to being able to provide a draft document that I will provide to all of the Plan Commission members, and I'm going to probably have a special meeting, it'll be a public meeting, but a special meeting sometime in the next few weeks to review that first draft. So we'll make that known as we normally do, and then move forward from there. The moratorium that we have in place ends September 12th, I believe. And right now, we're on track to make that timeframe.
All right, thank you, Ralph. Moving forward, the BZA, Matt Bowen, absent. So we'll move forward with the White Ditch and Drainage Board.
Excuse me, is Deb still on?
Yes, she is.
Okay, Deb, can you please tell us, I'm assuming you were at the meeting, or is the meeting only taking place this month?
Is there a meeting?
Yeah, did one take place in March, or is it only now in April?
No, yeah, none in March,
Okay.
one's scheduled for April 20th.
Okay, thank you, sorry.
And you're up, White Ditch and Drainage Board.
Okay, with regards to the White Ditch, I reported to Christine Kyle, the Secretary Administrator, that Mick Wolf removed the tree that had been down across the ditch east of Pokagon, just before that tiny little bridge at the old Glidden property. There are still branches that are in there, so he's going to be getting them out, but otherwise, that was it.
Got it, thank you. Website, Samantha Arnold?
No, there is nothing to report new on the website.
Got it, thank you. And NERC?
Nothing new from NERC. Their meeting is this Thursday, so I will be there.
Got it, okay. Before we go into number 8, unfinished business, I'd like to go back to 6B, which was the ordinance for reestablishing the Cumulative Capital Development Fund. Rich and Sam, I don't know if you know, but Dinah did just, is now present, so we wanted to go ahead and read and possibly vote on that. Who would actually read that? Would that be you, Brad, or is one of us?
Joan.
Or Joan? Yeah.
I guess I can. It's an order reestablishing the cumulative capital development fund. under the Indiana Code 36-9-15.5, be it resolved by the town of Michiana Shores, LaPorte County, Indiana, that a need now exists for the reestablishment of the Cumulative Capital Development Fund for the following purposes for all uses as set out in IC 36-9-15-5. Be it further resolved that this council will adhere to the provisions of the Indiana Code 36-9-15-5. The proposed fund will not exceed 0.5 cents on each 100 of assessed valuation. Said tax rate will be levied beginning with taxes for 2023 payable 2024. Be it further resolved that proofs of publication of the public hearing held on the 11th day of April 2023 and a certified copy of this ordinance shall be submitted to the Department of Local Government Finance of the state of Indiana as provided by law. This cumulative capital development fund is subject to the approval of the Department of Local Government Finance. Duly adopted by the following vote of the members of said Michiana Shores Town Council this 11th day of April 2023.
Any questions from the council?
No.
No, no.
All right.
John,
Yes.
this is for the roads, right?
No, it's for anything. It was originally established for the roads, but we can use it for anything. And it basically, a lot of it has gone to the roads, Rich.
I don't remember canceling it, but that's okay.
No, we never canceled it.
Cumulative funds over time decrease. The state code has changed recently where when you reestablish it at the maximum rate, you don't need to keep coming back to reestablish. So this will be a one-time and then you're good to go with this fund.
Great.
All right, if no other questions, can I get a motion to approve the ordinance as read, please?
I'll make that motion.
Anita?
I will second it.
All right, all in favor, Dinah Dumbriz,
Aye.
Ralph Box,
Aye.
Sam Paxton,
Can I vote?
oh yeah, and Michael Martinez, aye. 3 ayes have it.
Who made the motion?
Ralph.
Ralph.
Dinah seconded. Thank you.
No, because
No,
No further, Rich.
yeah. All right, so as we do that, thank you everyone. We're gonna move to 6C, which is the MS4 designation resolution.
Okay, I don't have, oops, here we go. I don't have a resolution prepared as yet. I had conversations, again, with Reggie Porthals. I spoke with Long Beach as well as with Potawatomi Park, all communities that were designated MS4s. I forwarded to the council members the response I got from IDEM telling me that, well, really, you can't say no because they've decided that we have to be one of the MS4 because we do have water that empties out into Lake Michigan, regardless of how small we are and so forth. So we do have to work on this and provide them with a notice of intent that we are going to take this upon ourselves. I did find out as well that we are able to, even if we start out our, this thing individually, if we feel like as we go forward that we would like to join in with someone else, like Long Beach or Potawatomi Park, or even LaPorte County, we can do that in the future. If it becomes too burdensome for us, that, we can go in with the others. So, Reggie Porthals would be willing to come in with us tomorrow to work here on preparing the paperwork. Of course, there is a cost involved because she is a consultant that does this stuff. Long Beach, she said that for us it would cost probably, she figures that it will not exceed a $3,000 fee. Long Beach, by the way, has spent $18,000 getting their MS4, set up, but they are a much larger community than we are. So they had a lot more, that has to go in. So Reggie said she could get it all taken care of for us. So this is just an FYI. So we have to do it, and I don't know that we could get it all done on our own anyway, to get everything set up the right way, so.
Is this an annual thing that we're gonna have?
No, once it's done, it's done. So once this is put in place, we're all set. And then this gives us access to all the other, potential benefits that we can use, with regards to grants and so forth. So, and also various other things that apply only to smaller communities that are within these kind of watersheds and so, so. Sam, did you have a comment, or Rich? Yeah.
Do you have any comments or question on what Dinah has just read?
No, I understand what we're being, I guess, advised to do. I struggle with the idea that a town our size has to go through this and not be exempt from it. This, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Thanks.
so anyway, so that my thought then tonight is that, we can get a resolution. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting on one from Long Beach. Chief Swistek was very much involved with them, so he and I spoke quite a bit about this, as well as Mr. Wall, who's on their council. And Larry Wall is going to be their MS4 coordinator, so we will need to have one person who is an MS4 coordinator for our town. And we can make that kind of decision later on. That doesn't have to be done now, but it is a person who would have to, essentially make sure that we're following whatever we needed to do with regards to this. They did promise to send through to us a copy of the resolution they used. I don't know if, Brad, if you had anything like that in your offices? No? Okay.
Well, we would have one from years back from a conglomerate, MS4, which was actually Long Beach, Fairfield County, City.
Oh, wow.
That's dated.
Okay, all right.
For the meeting.
Okay, well, then Long Beach did say they're going to send theirs through to us. So we can, as far as this is what at least Reggie said, and maybe Brad, you can tell us, that we will be able to kind of do this resolution next month and just make it retroactive to today's date. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Because you already voted previously to go forward with the NOI.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
is in lieu of opting out or trying to say that you're excluded.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Now your thoughts on the expense and doing it with Reggie.
I don't know that we have a choice.
Yeah, I don't think so either. This is a requirement. Joan, how would we do this with regards to the finances?
We have to, we just do
Yeah.
additional appropriations, you have to be prepared
Okay,
ahead of time for that.
okay, so then we'll
You
have
have
to,
to know what it's going to be,
yeah, well, she's gonna be here tomorrow.
it has to go through publications and
Okay.
everything, just like. wherever-
Right, okay, well, she'll be here tomorrow, so we can get more details from her. Now, I will bring up at the same time, though, that once this is starting out, this, since this, we have to do this from them, we do have an option to add to the tax bills a fee for stormwater, management and stuff like that, which will help us in the long run do something. And it doesn't have to be a huge fee, but, like each property owner, or however it is determined, whether it's, per lot, per residence or whatever it is, but this, and it would apply to everybody in the town, not just people who are actually on the ditch, but absolutely everybody in the town. So that is something that we can work on going forward as well. Okay? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving forward to number 8, unfinished business, the Perrin sewer line at 3642 Birchwood.
This is Brad's.
Yeah, we've had some conversation with the Parents Council, we've had conversation with Diane and Sam, get everybody else up to speed what's going on. The procedure for tapping into that line, which we determined is owned by the town of Michiana Shores, for the MOU, which was from 2014, when Strudelwoods did the initial construction. So basically what that advises is that any additional members that are going to tap in, or any additional property owners that are going to tap in, pay their 1/7 share to reimburse Mr. Strudelwoods for the original construction. You guys serve as a conduit for that fee. They pay it to you, you turn it over and pay it back to Mr. Strudelwoods. I believe he's probably already submitted that or ready to submit that funds. And then from that process, he's got to get approval through Michigan City Common Council and then the Michigan City Sanitary District, which I believe we've already done as well, or at least in the process of doing. What Michigan City wants from the town, this is what they've done recently with Long Beach as well. They just need essentially a letter or correspondence from me as council saying that the board voted to approve to allow the connection and on the date that you chose to do so. When you did this back when it was originally started, you actually did a formal resolution for Mr. Strolitz. That's not required by the city of Michigan City right now. All they're going to do is have just repair and acknowledge that he won't contest if there's a future annexation. He won't object to it, but he's not required to annex into the city, nor are you guys required to give up any of your rights over the pipe or over the sewer line. One question that came up when we were meeting yesterday was the additional costs moving forward. Any costs, again, you serve as kind of a conduit or pass-through for the property owners. They're ultimately responsible for the maintenance costs of this. Split equally among, or however split between the number that tapped in. So right now it's one, presumably after tonight it could be two. Those costs would be passed through to those two property owners. So how does that all factor in? It's a sanitary district that's probably going to do the maintenance, where you guys go to assume work with them, you don't have the infrastructure to do it yourselves. And then that cost would be passed through to the property owners. The MOU does allow the town to establish fees for all residents that are connected to pay for maintaining the line and to administer the system. Fees would be in addition to anything charged by Michigan City. We talked about that at the phone call. I discussed that with my partner, with Doug, and how Doug BG and how they've done that with town of Westville. He advises that there are pretty strict guidelines on how you can set those fees. And that would start really with probably getting an engineer to do basically an estimate of costs of maintaining more, because this thing's 10 years old now. 10 years old. Whether that would be, engaging somebody close to the original MOU or engaging another civil engineer to do those are some upfront costs you'd have to consider if you wanted to establish a monthly fee for this. You don't need to establish a monthly fee tonight, you just need to be aware that you've got the opportunity or the ability to do so. I think the property owners just need to be aware that they're responsible ultimately for those costs. The idea of establishing a monthly fee would be to have a safety net or build up the fees in case there was a large repair, and the town was making that repair and then chasing the property owners for reimbursement, which does make sense to consider in the future, but you also have to be aware of the restrictions of doing so and the upfront costs of establishing that.
Okay, thank you. Ask for any questions from you.
Yes,
Can I ask the question?
Just like to know.
Right, but we need to.
Rich is asking.
Does Brad hear me?
I can hear you, Rich.
Did you say that we own the sewer line?
Yes.
Because we never officially did anything. We never, it was always the intent. And I was the one 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, that kept saying we should be in charge of this. And Attorney Gunning at the time would say, well, before you want to take control, you want to get it inspected and make sure everything is in off the stuff. We never ever took control of that as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
There was no paperwork. Joe, do you hear me?
Yes,
There is no paperwork that said we ever took over.
you're right, there isn't.
Right. The MOU sets out that you will own it and you will take over ownership of it.
I have so hard a time hearing you.
The MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding from 2013, lays out that the town will own the line. But you're right, there's nothing, at least in the town's records, following that MOU, where there's a formal dedication or establishment of ownership.
So you're saying by that memorandum, we own it?
And by recognition, at least of the attorney for the Michigan City Common Council, they're recognizing that you own it as well.
So, and I apologize,
confused. Everything sounds mumble jumble to me, you sound like an echo. Are you saying that we have to, we just have to tell the state cities, okay?
Yes.
Frank, I mean, I can run with that, you're a lawyer, but I'm telling you guys, you're just basically saying, by the way it was written, we now own it, but we never did anything official to take it over.
Well, that begs the question too a little bit, Richard, whether you want to own it. You know, this is something that I think could be pursued as well. I've talked with Doug about this.
Yeah, I don't think it's to our advantage, so it is.
Yeah, and it could be something that we could engage counsel for the sanitary district. I doubt the city would want to take ownership of it, but the sanitary district, it makes sense. They're going to be the ones maintaining it anyhow.
Well, Brad, I shot you a note earlier today, after rereading the memo of understanding, which I am not certain that in your opinion, if that's a binding contract, that we move forward with allowing Mr. Skurlowitz to complete the project. And by virtue of the completion and the inspection that was done at Kirkham MOU, that the town then did take ownership of it. There's clear legal language in it. I don't know that it constitutes a binding contract, but within the MOU, it also on item number 13, the very final one, that is understood the attached town council meeting minutes dated December 10th, 2013, are part of this document and binding to all parties. If you read the attached notes, which Joan had sent out to the minutes of that meeting, there's a section on the first page, fourth or fifth paragraph, that states that Howard Jablon and Ray Douglas, members of the Planning Commission, among most voiced concerns that nothing in writing states when the ownership and maintenance of the system would be dedicated to the town. H. Khalil responded at the time of completion. It was further explained that the presentation was just a memorandum, not the actual contract. Town Attorney Gunning will draft the final contract, and that's the last
It never happened.
nothing further in that, and nothing has happened since. So I guess the question is, as Rich is bringing up, does the memo of understanding obligate us to quote own the sewer?
Does it on its own obligation to do that? No. The question would be whether there's been any reliance on the terms of that over the last decade or the actions of the parties to create consideration to create a quasi-contract. I would agree that the terms of the MOU itself alone are not a contract. The actions of the parties since adopting that or since taking a stance with that, and I agree. I mean, I wasn't, I don't know what happened 10 years ago, 9.5 years ago, but they should have been formalized in writing. Maybe that's something that should be done now. But I would say the actions of the parties over the last decade would create contractual rights through the concept of quasi-contractor detrimental reliance on the parties that this is the contract that the town doesn't own the line.
So is this something that
I
we,
wish I could understand. Hey, Brad,
Yep.
if we own the sewer line, don't we have to become a sanitary district in the state?
I don't know the specifics on that as we sit here, Rich.
But isn't that a distinct possibility?
It is a possibility, yes. There are codes and requirements that would need to be met, which is, again, going back to where I said it begs the question earlier, is this something you want to own?
I heard most of that, I didn't hear the end.
Is this something that the town, is it something that the town wants to own?
See, 10 years ago, I argued that we should own anything that's going under our streets. I argued. But it turned out, and wisely, I think, that, you know, before we take over this, we want to have it inspected, make sure everything's okay.
It was built right, it was put in right then, so why would it require an inspection when it had just been inspected? To be, Michigan City requires the people that built it.
Want to have a second discussion about
But it wasn't right,
Maybe an executive session.
Rich and Sam, you guys both make really good points. Definitely done your homework, so we appreciate that. It looks like we're probably going to have to go into a deeper discussion than what it is now, time permitting. So definitely we're going to shelve this for now, but go into a deeper dive with in an executive session in the future. Hopefully, Brad will be able to join in terms of discussion for that.
Right.
Can't talk, right?
I think, though, in order to do that deeper dive, you can still recognize the request to the property owner so that he can do what he's got to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Ralph.
This is Rich.
All right, go ahead, Rich.
10 years ago, I just felt anything going under the stop streets should be owned by us, not by a private citizen. But today, with Michigan City having taken over
He can go ahead, I guess.
the water lines
Michigan City.
and the water, bills and all that, I am in favor of letting them be in charge of this now. Because, they're certainly more capable, but that's something the lawyers have to sort out. But I agree, I'm not opposed to letting people tie in. I'm just saying, I've been around 10 years ago, I was the one spearheading to say we should control whatever's under our streets. We should let some private citizens.
I got you, Rich. I appreciate, Rich, I got you. We heard you. So just for time's sake, I guess, how should we present this for this tap-in for this specific resident?
Right.
It should be by motion and then by vote to allow the tap-in to accept the fees and to reimburse through the original property owner. And then basically a direction for me to report that to council for the Michigan City County Council.
Okay. I will make the motion then that we proceed with all the words that Brad had just said to allow the tap-in and to, and on and on. So hopefully Brad can give us the words that we're going to need for this motion.
And to be more specific on that, it's the request for Mr. Perrin to tap in specifically to his property.
Okay.
We're doing this property by property. This isn't a generic.
Correct. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'll second that. This is Michael Martinez. And then,
now your question is appropriate.
okay.
I would like to ask a question. If we vote to allow the parents to tap in, does that indicate to a court that gets to it that we were acting as if we had a contract, and we are in fact the owners, and do we want to put ourselves in that position?
I would respond to that, Sam, that you have to give them permission regardless of whether you own the line or not, because they're going to be coming on the city property, their town property to do that. The town still owns the street, the town still owns the property where the line's located. So you still have to give permission for them to tap in. Even if the question of ownership of the line is still subject to debate.
Well, I second, this is Rich Young, that you're not sure, Brad, that we have to be Yeah. So, I'm not sure this is rushing into this. I don't wanna see a lawsuit on the road. And you're not sure of that, so I think we need to look into it.
Motion was already made.
I'm all in favor of letting Michigan City take it over, which maybe we need to do a ordinance or resolution, but then they can deal with it. They got far more money than us.
But I think the discussion is who owns it. That's what we're gonna be talking about in the long term. Today, all we're talking about is having a tap in at 3642 Birchwood. I get your concerns, gentlemen, about, it looks like we're already making a decision long term, but all we're doing, based on what Brad had stated, we have to grant them a tap in option regardless because of the location of the sewer line.
Use our streets.
To use our streets. So with that said, I just want to keep moving this forward. We will have a discussion about proper ownership long-term for this, okay? I need to see a show of hands or a state aye, all in favor. And I'll start with Dinah.
Aye.
Ralph.
Aye.
Rich.
Abstain.
Sam.
Abstain.
And I'll give aye, yes. So did you get that, Joan?
Got 3 ayes and 2 abstain.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward now to 8B, addition of the name of the town to the notice boards.
Something as simple as this continues to be complicated. We have 4 boards, as everyone knows. 2 have been installed, 2 are in the garage. And we had correspondence in the last month about instead of ordering 1, let's get 2, maybe 3 or 4 of these signboards. But I was cautious and I went into the garage, Joe went in and measured the 2 boards there, and they're much bigger than the ones that we have installed. So it's a good thing we didn't order the ones that won't fit. So what I want to propose is that we go ahead and order 2 signboards now to fit the 2 message boards that we have in place. And then we can, once the other signboards are put in place, we can go through the process of getting the appropriate size board for them. That whole thing may take some time, and I want to go ahead and get these things ordered because it's going to take a month or 2 to get them in place. That being said, we back up to what the quote is for 2, and one was $600 for 2, a little bit of a discount. It's $1131.16. So I talked to Jen about this a few weeks back, and she said we need to specifically vote on that expense before we wander down the path of ordering them.
Okay. Before we vote on that, is there any chance of you negotiating as well with them? About the next 2 boards, let's cut that price a little,
Well,
even though they're wider.
My caution is ordering these before the signboards, message boards are in place, and...
No, I'm not saying to order them, just to talk to them about remembering to give us a discount.
Yeah, she may give us a discount, but they're gonna be doing 2 different runs.
Right.
So it won't be the discount that she was talking about before.
Okay.
And plus, there's more material, so the cost will be higher, because it's really a material cost as much as anything. So, does that sound right, Joe? We approve this expense, I get you a final quote, and then we can move forward?
I can do a purchase order and I'll figure out where we can get the money from.
Okay.
Would this not be available from the ARPA funds? ARP funds?
I don't make that decision.
The expectation is that it would, but we have not even used that money to officially
Yeah.
buy the message boards. We've never
Okay.
finished that
All right.
process.
We can add that.
Okay. All right, so that's a task for during this next month then, okay. Thank you, all right, so,
We need to vote on the expense of 11/31/16, right?
okay.
All right. So do you want me to do this or? Sure. Can I get a motion to approve the $1,131.16 expense/charge for the message boards as stated from Ralph?
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
I will second.
We have Ralph and we have, make the motion and then Dinah seconded. All in favor state, by saying aye. Dinah?
Aye.
Ralph?
Aye.
Rich?
I'm not sure what was said. The only one I could hear really well was Sam, that it was about the sideboard or something.
Yes, we're trying to get approved a charge of $1,131.16 for the ordering of boards for the town notice boards, the signs.
That is for one board or more?
Two.
Who?
Yes.
Okay, I'll say aye.
Okay. Sam?
Aye.
All right. 5 ayes, me included. Okay.
So I'm going to add to this before we move on.
Okay.
Just so everybody understands, we'll work out the ordering process, Joan and I will. They give me a lead time of about a month, a while back. We will be responsible for installing them because I didn't want to pay to have them do it, and that was going to add another month to the schedule. So I'll get with Rich once we have them, and we'll figure out how to mount the things. Second thing
Do
is...
not pay anybody. Do not pay.
Exactly, I agree. Second thing is, we do have the other two message boards. And I was
You
talking
can hear me.
to John.
And I gotta go, guys.
All right, Rich.
Don't forget town cleanup.
Oh, yeah. Yes, okay, thank you.
So real quickly, we do have two additional message boards. And one will go in the front of this building. And Joan had a great suggestion when I was talking to her the other day, that we put the other one in down at Leeds Park. Because we're trying to do more at that location. It's a part of the town that needs a little help, and I think it'll look good. So these are pretty big. I didn't help Rich put the other ones in, but these are going to require you guys to put them in. So I'll talk to Rich separately about starting the process to plan to install one here and at Leeds Park, if that sounds okay.
I have a question, and and anybody who worked on them, don't get pissed at me, but would it be potentially worthwhile putting the larger board in at Kincaid as opposed to Leeds?
It's already there.
I know it's there.
Already there.
I'm saying, it would be double work, but I'm just wondering if it would be.
It's not that.
It's not that much larger? Oh, okay.
They're just heavy.
Oh, okay, all right, well then that's, okay.
Require some manhandling.
Okay, all right, well then it's not a big square
For what
footage
it's worth,
issue.
when you do kind of get to that point, let me know, I can help out,
Okay.
So.
All right,
All right,
thanks.
that's all I got, thanks.
Are we gonna keep the ugly sign in front of the street department?
The one that's right here by the building?
The map?
No, the one in front of the street department.
You mean in front of the garage?
Yeah. There's that old ugly one sitting there.
Are you talking about the one that is the notice board?
Yeah, the notice-
With it, well, we need to have something like that up there for anybody coming by to see. Maybe we can look into getting a newer one.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Once we get the signboards in, we get the street map back up, I think we can talk about what we want to do with the,
Yeah. But while,
That's why I brought it up, because
yeah,
might be a better place for it.
okay.
All right, moving on to new business. Nuisance ordinance of town code.
Okay, that's Sam.
Sam?
Yes, thank you, Michael. I'd like to just take a few minutes to review the existing county ordinance regarding nuisance properties. The county code requires basically that all homeowners properly maintain their property and residences. While this could be subjective, we believe that the following ordinance clearly defines what a nuisance property is, even going as far as providing examples of what constitutes a nuisance. And on behalf of the common council, I'd like to make sure that request that all residents review this ordinance. It's out there on the website, along with all the other ordinance. And if you feel your property meets the definition, then please start to rectify the issues on your own. The ordinance does enable the town to take actions that we can enforce the abatement or remedy of the issues, and allows for fines up to $2,500 per day, and other enforcement tools are also written into the ordinance if needed. We obviously, as a town council, don't want to have to pursue this type of action, but we feel it's our obligation to all the residents that live in the town to make sure that properties are maintained properly. I'd just like to quickly read from the ordinance a few of the definitions and some examples of what constitutes a nuisance. The ordinance itself can be found under Title 3, Article 1, in Chapter 12. I will read a portion of Section 3-1-12-1 definitions. For the purposes of this ordinance, the word nuisance is hereby defined as the doing of an unlawful act or the omitting to perform a duty or the suffering or permitting any condition or thing to be or exist, which act, omission, condition, or thing either A, injures or endangers the comfort, repose, health, or safety of others, or B, offends decency, or C, is offensive to the senses, or D, unlawfully interferes with, obstructs, or tends to obstruct or renders dangerous for passage any public or private street, highway, sidewalk, parking area, stream, ditch, or drainage way, or E, in any way renders other persons insecure in life or the use of property, or F, essentially interferes with the comfortable enjoyment of life and property, or tends to depreciate the value of the property of others. Section 3-1-12-2 illustrated enumeration. I'll read a few of these. The maintaining, using, placing, depositing, leaving, or permitting to be or remain on any public or private property of the following items, conditions, or actions are hereby declared to be and constitute a nuisance, provided, however, this enumeration shall not be deemed or construed to be conclusive, limiting, or restrictive. 1. Noxious weeds and other rank vegetation. 2. Accumulation of rubbish, trash, refuse, junk, and other abandoned materials, metals, lumber, or other things. 3. Any condition which provides harborage for rats, mice, snakes, and other vermin. And number 4, any building or other structure which is in such dilapidated condition that it is unfit for human habitation, kept in such an insanitary condition that it is a menace to the health of people residing in the vicinity thereof, or presents a more than ordinary dangerous fire hazard in the vicinity where it is located. There continues on items 5 through 13, which continues to provide other examples. I will not go through that for the essence of saving time. I appreciate the opportunity to read this publicly and to encourage all residents that may be aware of this ordinance to read it. And if you're concerned about your property might be qualifying, the town intends to look for avenues to get compliance with the ordinance and with proper maintaining of property. So that is all I have.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay.
Thanks, Sam.
Can I add, I know I wasn't here, but I wanted to add something very quickly about American Recovery Plan.
Under what, 9B?
Right now, yeah. Okay.
All right, Sam, we're adding a little item to 9B
Yeah, it's the American Recovery Act.
about the American Recovery Act. It's not on your agenda, but Dinah's going to be giving us an update right now.
I received an email the other day, Joan, I'm not sure if you got one too, that the federal government's, the offices that are taking those reports are finally functioning that way. Did you receive an email about that?
Yes.
Okay, so that this is just something that we're gonna have to complete, make sure that, we get that done. So I just wanted to mention that, under new business is a task for us, so.
Okay.
And then I'll add something else yet for
I don't think there was ever an ordinance or resolution as to what you were going to be spending the money on.
Okay, well, we have to go back and look at that and then just make sure we get it done. That'll be big jobs for the next month. Okay.
Good. All right, attorney report.
Just briefly to tack on to when we were talking about the sanitation line, I did get an email this afternoon from another property owner out there, and this is why I kind of mentioned that you were just dealing specifically with Mr. Perrin's property. He said, my question is if the Michiana Shores Board will grant general consent for eligible home building sites access to petition the Michigan City Board and Sanitary District directly, to hook up each time a Michiana Shores resident owner wants access, or will it be a separate request which will need to be made in Michiana Shores? I think at least until we have clarity as far as ownership of the line, individual coming forward is appropriate. That's again why we did the.
Right, and I would lean towards the fact that there has to be a residence there,
Yeah.
not just a lot.
Not just a lot, right. Yeah, it's gotta be a reason. So that's all I have. I do need to follow up with Deb on some of the code enforcement, and I know there's, I don't know if there's, I'm a little unclear whether it's in litigation already or not in litigation, and maybe that's what other attorney fees are coming for, so I don't know, I can follow up with that offline.
Okay. All right, thanks, Brad. Miscellaneous business.
Sam, you were gonna ask? Did you add anything to the agenda here?
I did not for
Sam had brought forward, I'm sorry?
The reimbursement?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and I received a full report of copy printed paper from Ralph Fox earlier this week, and I know that I have a need to print a lot of items out, and I was curious if the other council members feel like it would be a benefit for us as a request that we get reimbursed for printing, which is one of the most expensive fluids produced out in Europe, in the world per ounce. So I'll throw it out there to my colleagues to fill them out and see if there's a similar concern.
Me personally, Ralph, I have everything in a digital copy. They may differ because I do understand that Ralph prints stuff off. So for me personally, I don't see a need for it, but others in other roles may do.
Well, I would also comment that for, meeting minutes and agendas, I usually print those out and make notes on them. That, like, for instance, the comprehensive plan. One of the things, once the town council approves that, I'll make a request to Joan to give us all a printed copy so that we're not printing these things on home printers. We did that before in a draft mode. I think we would do that again. But for the few things that I actually print, I don't see a need for it. But it's me. I'm probably print more than Michael, but I don't print that much.
It's not a reimbursement, by the way. If you need printer ink, you come through me to get it. I purchase it.
Okay?
Okay, so that would be a
That's good.
Okay.
good solution, Joe. Thanks.
Okay. All right, thanks, Sam. Sorry.
Good, good.
Okay.
Bring us home.
You want to bring the town cleanup?
Is that communications?
No,
All
it's
right, well,
communications
let's just work
received,
our
that's
way down.
different.
Yeah, let me just work my way down. Communications received?
Okay, I received communications, one specifically, that was about a tree that is on Hiawatha just west of Pontiac. As a matter of fact, just west of Sheila, I think Carlson's property. And it is, I guess, a dead tree already, and NIPSCO came out and I think they're going to be taking care of it. So I received some emails and calls on that, so that was the biggest. Outside of sometimes people calling and asking questions about, where it says in the ordinances, how big the houses could be, and, and so on, those kind of, just general kind of inquiries on that. But I think what we need to do is, it's really not under communications, but Rich reminded us, setting up the town cleanup that we do every year. So if we could pick a date for that now, that would be good, and then that way we could sort of plug it.
Diana, while I'm looking at my calendar, did the newsletter come out?
The newsletter has started going out. It was printed last week and picked out, I think 170 copies were mailed out already.
Okay, thanks.
So those should come to you.
So we're looking at May, or
Probably May and not June. We generally did it before Memorial Day.
we've usually done
Right,
it
Joe?
on a Saturday?
It was usually on a Saturday, yes, so that there would be,
Beginning of the month normally, we
Yeah.
the beginning of May.
yeah, so the picnic is on the 7th, so I don't know if you want to be working on the, because we have to
What
be,
picnic's on the 7th?
not picnic, I'm sorry, the pancake breakfast. So I don't know if you want to do anything on the 6th.
We're on Saturday the 6th, so that we.
I'm okay with that.
When people come to the pancake breakfast.
Okay,
I recommend the 6th of May.
okay, that's fine with me. I don't know, any other thoughts?
Whatever the majority rules, I'll be out of town that weekend.
We have a town meeting before. We'll get you a job to do another day.
Hey, that's fine.
How does that sound? Okay.
If everyone's
Any
good.
other thoughts, Fire Chief? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Road Commissioner, no problem, so those working on the 6th? No? All right.
Gives me away from fire.
Huh?
We stuck here.
Yeah, you're getting ready for the pancake breakfast.
I'm here to start.
Okay.
What time is
We
it?
generally, what, John, about 9, 8?
9,
9?
10 or 9
How
o'clock.
about 9 o'clock?
We'll be here at station setting up.
Yeah, so all we do is we use the bathroom because that's all. Basically, that's it. So
Fine.
everybody works
We
outside, so.
usually have some snacks.
So May 6th.
Okay, so we can figure something out. All right, May 6th for 9 a.m. cleanup.
I have a bag.
All right, great.
All right.
So we will advertise, ask Samantha to post that on the website, and Ray will put it up on the board. That
Got
will
it.
clean up then, okay?
Moving on, public comment. Okay. Council comment. Leaf pickup started this Monday, seemed pretty well. Received email from them that they did majority of the streets yesterday because of the weather. I still did see some piles out there, so.
Today?
I
You did?
just walking around,
Okay.
so I don't know if they
Yeah.
are making one more round, but I'll follow up with them
Okay,
to see how they're doing.
I'll add that. Jason,
Somebody blowing by your house, and I think it was a Judy Burns property today.
today?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, I don't know where they put them, I didn't see it, but they were blowing leaves today.
okay, well, I didn't see, I wasn't home all day, so I didn't see that, but thank you. We'll check that out. However, Jason said that they did another trip today.
Yep.
And they picked up everything that was available, that was out, okay, by, like by Monday. They picked everything up that was still left. They had to do, I believe, Powhatan was the street that had the most to pick up. So they were supposed to pick up over there. So I'll take a swing around tomorrow, just to see if anybody has anything left. But we still, most residents, and I thank them for doing that, are actually, trying to do it, like getting it ready on the date we say to get ready. Because we say it's not the week of, but that day, you gotta get it ready. Because if they're coming through and and there's only so much in there, not coming back Friday to pick up one pile. So that is it, it's, you know, they did it, so that was really great, and I thank everyone who actually put their leaves to the edge of the property and not out on the streets. We still had some that had it out on the streets, and perhaps going forward, if people still do that with the huge piles, maybe we'll talk to them about that, we push it back onto their, you know, their property or something, but it was much better now than it was in the fall, so that was really great. Okay?
Any
So
other
thanks,
council
Michael.
comments? All righty, so we need a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
I move to adjourn.
I need a second.
I second.
Got that, Joan?
Got that. 8:25 PM.
8:25 it concludes.
Okay.